Verity Danzinger, please.
Can I take your name, please?
Annette Brown. My life is always, and still is, and has been, very hectic, working as a self-employed musician. But lots of fun, working hard, playing hard, and generally having a really good time. It was in 2008 when I started to feel a lump in my right breast. I didn't do anything for possibly 2 or 3 months because I was waiting to see if it had any connection with my monthly cycle. I realised that it didn't, and so in February 2009 made an appointment to go to my doctor's surgery to have it checked out. When I made the phone call, the doctors were all busy, so they gave me an appointment with the nurse practitioner. I felt quite happy about that because she's female. I thought she'd have a bit more compassion, a bit more understanding. And I actually couldn't have been any more wrong. When I got to that particular appointment, she was very cold, not in the slightest bit understanding. She did examine both breasts, and at the end of the appointment she said that, and I quote, it's my age and tissue moving. One of my dear friends who lives in Chichester happens to be a doctor, and I know from her that doctor's time, nurse practitioner's time, is very, very important. So I felt absolutely gutted that I'd wasted her time, and I actually apologised for wasting her time and left the surgery with my tail well and truly between my legs. The circumstances then were that I went away on tour. I believed what she'd said to me, and again I was away travelling but kept feeling this lump. And I think the most important thing is that we as human beings, you know your body better than anybody else. And I did what I think most people are afraid of doing. And I decided there and then, whilst I was on tour, that once I got back to England, I would make an appointment and get a second opinion, which I did, and I strongly believe that second opinion saved my life. I saw a doctor who was absolutely lovely. He was not in the slightest bit concerned that this was a second opinion. He did a thorough examination of both breasts, as they do, so that they can get the comparison between the two. And he looked at me and he said, "Yes, Annette, I can feel the lump that you can feel. In actual fact, I can feel 2 lumps. He said, I don't think it's anything to worry about, but I'm going to refer you anyway." So I felt much better then, knowing that this lump I could feel so easily was going to be checked out. So on the 30th of November in 2009, I went to the hospital, and from there until the 23rd of December, it was just like being in a whirlwind. I had biopsies, mammograms, the whole works, everything that could possibly, because they knew that there was something wrong, so they were then checking my bones and everything and all my vital organs. And although the surgeon wanted me to have the surgery sooner than I did, I had a total right side mastectomy on December the 23rd. So that's just over 3 weeks after the main diagnosis, if you like, in November. So it was a total whirlwind. And when eventually I had the surgery, they found 5 lumps, all of which were cancerous. The main lump that I could feel was 2 centimetres long. And they also took lymph nodes from my arm, my right arm, and many of those were also cancerous. So the top and bottom of it is that the cancer was on the move, and so I believe the next stop after your lymph nodes is your vital organs. So had I not made that decision to get a second opinion, I think I would be maybe not here right now, or certainly in a very, very bad way.
I do a lot of cancer claims work, and a lot of that work is where there has been a delay in the diagnosis of someone's cancer. And very sadly, a lot of those clients have short life expectancies as a result of the delay in their diagnosis. Annette's claim was somewhat different to that, in that very fortunately her prognosis hasn't been particularly affected by the delay in her diagnosis. But what she sought compensation for was for the intervening time when she'd had treatment that she otherwise wouldn't have had, and when she wasn't able to work to her full extent.
I think because I had so much thinking time whilst I was having the chemotherapy and whilst I was having the radiotherapy, that thinking about that lady made me feel really angry in the way that she had treated me and completely dismissed something that I felt for me was really important and should have been investigated. And the more I spoke with my friend who was the doctor, we decided that I should write a letter of complaint, which was actually my first step in kind of getting off my mind the anger, if that makes any sense. I was just so cross at the way she treated me. And I think if any of us in our profession, if I don't play well with a band, I get sacked. I'm not asked to come back again. And she is dealing with people's lives, so I felt I really wanted to do something to actually shake her up a little bit, but also to give myself peace of mind. So I wrote to the surgery, and it took them quite some time to respond, which I found quite rude. And then when she did reply, her opening line was, "Your letter has caused me great distress." And I read that and I thought, you're distressed? What about me? You nearly cost me my life.
If we're going to litigate a case, then we're going to be very dependent on independent expert evidence. But when clients come through the door, we invariably don't have that expert evidence. So what we're looking to do is form as good a view as we can about the merits of a case on the basis of the information that clients have got. Sometimes, like in Annette's case, clients have already done a complaint and they've had a response to their complaint. Sometimes also, like in Annette's case, they've been through some of the professional regulatory proceedings. Often clients come with nothing but their story, and that is also fine. We don't need people to have done any other processes other than tell us what has happened to them. But what we're looking to do is to work out whether or not we can criticise the care that was provided to someone, and the legal test for that is whether or not the care received was reasonably competent. And you can only succeed in a clinical negligence claim if the care was not reasonably competent. And the other thing that we're looking to see is whether or not the outcome has been affected by that incompetent care, because again, you can only claim compensation if the outcome has been affected and for the extent to which the outcome has been affected. So we're looking to evaluate that insofar as we can, even at an early stage. And we're then trying to have a view, although it can be difficult at the outset, about what the claim might be worth and how it might be funded.
Do you know what? The hardest thing about my illness was trying to get some benefit from the government to look after myself whilst I was ill. It was like trying to get blood from a stone. It really was. That was the most stressful thing. So I then just started paying for things on my card, ordering things on the internet and ended up in debt. And for me, the compensation has meant that I can pay off those debts and actually be relaxed and just get back into work and try and pick up those gigs where I left off, really. I did not go into this journey to make money. People will believe me, people won't believe me, but in my heart, I wanted something to happen to that lady. I mean, I didn't want her to fall off her bike or anything, but I wanted her to look after other women. And in making my complaints, they have retrained that lady. And as my barrister said to me, I have saved the lives of many women. I feel sad for the women that went before me. I can't help them, but I know in my heart that I have saved many women's lives because she has been retrained and now knows how to look for cancerous lumps properly.